Right, welcome everybody to the Universal Bliss Seminar number 3. This is the month of September, and today is the 5th day of September, so it's the first Saturday of the month, and it's just gone 2 o'clock, and for the next few hours or so we will continue along our path, the path from 4th dimensional living to 5th dimensional living. So I'd like to first take the opportunity to congratulate you on your commitment and your dedication. Those of you who are going to be here and attend all these presentations, please keep a register. I'm keeping a register as well, but keep a register of your own involvement. I'd like to give those who complete all 10 sessions a certificate, and I'd like to also give those who attend the support sessions another certificate if you attend all the support sessions, and if you do the peer support sessions as well, another certificate. So there's an opportunity for you to have at least one certificate if you attend all 10 seminars for the program, for the pilot program, and as well as if you attend all 10 support sessions with me, and if you attend all 10 peer support sessions, you will get certificates for that too. So you might ask, what's the purpose of the certificate? Basically, it holds you in good standing as our work together evolves and takes a presence in our lives and in the world. You will have an opportunity at some point, perhaps some of you or those of you who want to actually take this to your locale, your neighborhood, where you are with people. And so there will be at some point an opportunity for you to actually be a presenter of this material, and then after that a teacher of this material at some level. So just make sure I'm also keeping record of the register of people who are with us for every event, but make a note of your own record, whether you're with us or not with us, and so you can get your certificate. There's going to be no charge for the certificates. It'll be my privilege and pleasure to write you out certificates for your attendance in our course. So, having said that, let's continue with our adventure and our journey along the way. I did acknowledge you for your interest and commitment and for your ongoing involvement. I did say to you we will lose people along the way. The reason for that is not everybody may really want to support personal transformation. Not everyone wants to actually stop being who they've been and become another way. Not everybody wants to stop relating like how they've related and relate another way. Not everybody wants to go beyond what they've experienced in the past and are experiencing now. So a lot of people are unconsciously committed to being as they've been, committed to living as they live, committed to interacting and relating how they've interacted and relating now, and they want to continue to be who they've been and interact and act as how they have, and they want to continue to have the experiences in life that they've had. So to the degree that you are more committed to who you've been, how you are, how you have related and how you relate, and what you've experienced and what you experience, the more you want to be who you've been and continue to act and interact like how you have, and the more you want to sustain the reality that you have lived or are living now, the less you will join this group. Do you understand? This group is like the caterpillar deciding to stop being a caterpillar anymore and actually chooses to be a butterfly. You know, people might really within themselves say, I really want to empower myself. I really want to be more secure. I really want to be more powerful as an adult. You know, I really want to be more creative. People might say that, and because they think they mean it, but not everybody is really genuinely committed to the process of undoing who you've been, how you've interacted, and what you've experienced, and going beyond. So we are in this teaching about going beyond, and some of us to some degree or another, some of us more than others, want to remain who we've been. So again, I'm not here to tell you that to remain as you've been is bad or wrong, or you shouldn't remain, and to continue to be how you've been and interacted, and how you interact is bad or wrong, and you shouldn't interact the way you've interacted. And I'm not saying that what you've lived all up till now in your life is bad or wrong. You must go beyond that. I'm just saying that I have had a yearning in life. I've had a yearning, I've had a desire, I've had a dream that there was more for me to be and become. There was more for me to do and have. There was more for me to live and experience. You understand? I always knew that when I was an out and out, needy person, when I was an out and out person who was an addict in different ways, powerless, and needy and a victim, always blaming people, I knew that there was the experience of, I was saying to you that in my life, for where I'm coming from, there has been a yearning, a desire, a dream to actually go beyond the needy kind of human being that I was, the powerless human being that I was, and that beggarly, needy person, and that person who was projecting power onto substances and actually just making, things and people so important in my life that I was controlled by it. And I wasn't consequently experiencing much satisfaction and enjoyment. I was living in deprivation. And so there was a yearning in me. There was a yearning in me. There was a desire in me to actually support the potentials that existed for me to be and become, and the possibilities that was there for me to live. Now you must remember, this is before Ashraf Murad, Empowerment Specialist. This is before the Blissful Living teachings, long before Universal Bliss, Spiritual Empowerment, Truth teachings, long before. There was no teacher anywhere in sight. There was no students. There was no wisdom. There was nothing. There was just a boy who was broken. Do you understand? But yet, in a society and community that knew nothing and still might largely know nothing about truth and teaching and growth and spiritual growth, personal development, life enrichment, I had a yearning. I could have lived my life like that, insecure and needy. I could have lived out my life being an addict dependent. I could have lived out my life in deprivation, but I'm very thankful that I chose personal transformation. I'm very grateful that I opened up to the potentials of being and becoming that existed. And here I am in front of you today, talking to you, talking to the world, people from all around the world, and putting up videos on YouTube for people around the world, and even saying to you that in time to come, that some of you may actually be presenters and teachers of this powerful teaching. From where? My father, with all due respect to him, was, he was a man who was just thankful that he completed his matric back in the day. It's a long story, I won't tell you about it, but it's really a remarkable story of a boy who was 11 years old and he realized he wasn't in school, my father. And at the age of 11, he enrolled himself into school. At the age of 11, he was the oldest boy in his class, all the way to matric. As uncomfortable as that was for him, I'm sure, he continued and completed his matric, which his frame, I still have a certificate of passing matric. You understand? So my father also, was into learning and growth and education, and he took that opportunity. He knew there was beyond just working in his family business, loading the farmers' vehicles with potatoes and onions and, carrying stuff. The farmers would come to the store, his family store, and they would buy, and his family would use, this is how it was back in the day, the family members to carry things and do work, in the business. That's how it was. And my father was one of those who was working, and he didn't know he wasn't in school until he realized at the age of 11 he wasn't in school, and that's when he enrolled himself into school. You understand? So my father was a humble farm store owner. He lived out and became a businessman, and eventually married and had children, and today here I am doing what I'm doing. My sister is a medical super specialist working at the Cautionary Hospital, the highest hospital in the whole of Africa. She's getting certifications that I don't even know what degrees they are. She's running out of degrees, my sister, to actually study. Soon she'll be writing exam papers, not answering them. My brother, some of you may know, I'm not sure if he's on the call, he's an engineer who became an entertainer. So what I'm saying to you is, I could have been just that broken man that I was, young boy, and lived out my life. I could have. And I, applied myself in with a yearning to further myself, to become. So I could have been somewhere else. So would my brother and my sister. But my father took it as far as he could take it, and we've taken it as far as we can take it. Now, I'm not sure if you have a yearning within you. I'm not sure if you have a yearning. I have reason to believe that since you're here and you are, in the third seminar, that you too might be genuinely really interested in personal transformation and going beyond who you've been, how you've lived, what you've experienced. You can go beyond that. But I told you, not everybody wants to go beyond. Most people want to actually just remain the same. The people have this tendency to perpetuate who they've been and how they've lived and how they act and interact, and that's what they do. And when you ask me, why is that, Ashraf? Why would somebody not choose to become more secure? I would say that they choose to not be more secure because of Francis, in the old language, is Satan. But we'll explain that, that there's a tendency, a negative propensity in human beings to avoid feeling more secure. We keep ourselves feeling insecure and needy. Left to our own devices, we'll never choose security and support a greater security, generally speaking. We continue to operate in a powerless way. We don't want to be more powerful. We don't want to really care for ourselves, our bodies, and our lives. We don't want to relate in a powerful way, nurturing ourselves, our bodies, and nourishing our lives. We don't want to really promote, our growth. We don't want to, and we don't really want to go beyond victimization. That's what happens usually. People just want to remain. I could have remained back. My father could have remained back and say, well, I'm ended up working in the family business, and that doesn't really end well. He wouldn't have been able to marry and have his own family and support his family in a higher level of quality of life or higher level of living. He wouldn't have been able to do that. But because he had a yearning, that he believed that there was something in him that was more. There was more than just staying back in life and blaming people and saying, well, nobody put me in school, nobody sent me to school, I don't know. And he could have remained like that, but he didn't. I'm very proud of my father. And my mother too. My mother at this particular point, she's on WhatsApp, she's on Facebook, she has email. That is truly remarkable. And my mom could have just said, I'm an old lady, what, I just want to just carry on. Let's just sit and talk to other old ladies. And, I don't know if anybody in her network at her age has got email and Facebook and WhatsApp and is using them, So my mom recognizes that she doesn't have to remain behind, We recognize that there is for us to become, what's the next level that we can aspire to. If you look at my sister Zinat, my brother Mo, myself, my mother, that's our family, at this particular point. Yes, we have children as well. May our children follow in our footsteps in that particular way. And so this is the thing, that we are actually choosing to support an evolution of ourselves to the next level and the next level and the next level. And even now, I'm still supporting a growth in me. I'm still supporting a development in me. Even now, I'm doing that. You see? That's what I'm doing. So this is what we're talking about. We're talking about, are you genuinely really interested? Do you, in personal transformation, do you have a yearning within you that says there's more to me? There's more to how I am. There's more to how I live. There's more to what I have lived. There's more to living. You understand? Do you have this kind of feeling in you that my dad had, my mom had, that my family members had? And we still have. And we still look at now, what's the next potential of being and becoming? What's the next level of living and experiencing? That doesn't mean we're overachievers or we're addicted to success, or it's nothing in that particular way. We can live passing our time and just carrying on like other people. We can. I want to remind you, my father was not a professional, neither was my mum. He was a farm store owner. Farm store. He had a farm store. It's a long story, as I said to you. My mum lived with him on the farm. We had no hot water. We had to use those immersers to warm the water, and eventually we had a boiler system, they call it bowl, but it was a boiler system. You had to put logs in it and have this pipe run through and all that sort of thing. Quite a hectic thing. So remember that. My sister, my brother and I have come from humble beginnings. So don't ever think, Ashraf, you can talk because your family is very, your parents were very, very successful as professionals. They were intelligent people. It doesn't mean that if you're a professional, you're intelligent. I just want you to know that. Neither my mom nor my dad were professional, and it doesn't mean that we had a silver spoon in our mouth. That means we were really rich. Our bathroom wasn't tiled. The walls had plaster that was not even finished in a smooth way. That when it was painted, I noticed that it was bulging, and as a child I used to like tapping on it and hearing the hollow sound and think this is a very strange thing. So before you say, but Ashraf, your family is very privileged, you come from very intelligent professional parents. I think my family is intelligent, but they're not professionals. They're intelligent because they support a yearning, you understand? And that before you can say they were wealthy and they had all these luxuries, it was apartheid South Africa, you understand, and my family didn't have abundant resources. My mother continued after my father's death when I was 13 years old, by herself, without much support, with the power of faith. She grew us up with faith, you understand, and we made it, and here we are, and we continue. And if you see my sister, my brother and I, you will not, say, these are the same children who were orphaned and they grew up without opportunities in the usual sense of the word. You understand? Now, I'm not saying that to impress you, but I am saying this to impress upon you that a yearning within you, a belief that I want to be beyond who I've been, I want to be beyond how I've lived, I want to go beyond what I've experienced, is essential to real growth in your life. And although most people, talk the talk, but most people are not really wanting to support the transformation, personal transformation. And I'm just highlighting here for us that if you feel that there's more for you to be, to become, to live, to experience, to do, to have, if you feel that there is something in you more, and you are prepared to support that, then I'm here for you. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. To the best of my ability, I was there for my brother and sister. They were 9 and 10 years younger than me. But I was there. Whatever I knew, I supported, I shared, and I still do. Give support as best as I can, and whatever wisdom I'm aware of and how to progress, I do support. So I'm saying to you, if you are genuinely, not just you think you want personal transformation, but you're genuinely interested in really fulfilling that personal yearning in you, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. But if you're thinking, I think I want change because I'm unhappy about my life, I just want my life to change, you're in the wrong place. Because this is not about changing your life. Your life will change. Have no fear. Your life will change. But this is about your personal transformation, to support that deeper yearning within you, to go beyond insecurity to security, from self-abandonment to self-fullness or self-nurturing, life-nourishing, instead of self-negating and life neglecting, to go beyond being a blamer and a victim, to actually taking responsibility, and being creative and having the response that is there, that the universe is always responding to us. So that is my introduction here today. That do you feel within you that there's more for you to be, to become, to live, to experience? Do you know that there are potentials to be actualized within you and possibilities for you to live? Do you know that it's possible for you? Do you know it's not going to happen tomorrow when you get up, suddenly you're going to fulfill that desire you always have by itself? Do you know that it's not going to happen, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and a book is going to be sitting on my table that I didn't write with my name on it? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen like that. That you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be different. It doesn't work like that. You've got to support your spiritual growth, your personal development, and your life enrichment. If you are not interested in your spiritual growth, and if you are not interested in your personal development and your life enrichment, you are in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. So thank you for indulging me and listening to me share with you, a little bit about myself, so that you can understand that this is real, this is authentic. I've come from a very challenged background, a troubled background, inner troubles from within my own psyche, and I'm here, and I'm still going beyond where I am. And I can support you if you are really sincere and are prepared to put in the time, put in the energy, and be open to being supported. If you're ready to receive support and you're prepared to be aware and apply yourself, then you're in the right place. And if not, that's okay too. Nobody says you have to not live a mediocre life. If you want to live a life that is no growth, you're not supporting security, that's okay. If you want to remain needy like a beggar, it's actually the most popular thing on the planet. Most people on the planet choose to remain the same. They choose to champion the insecurity. If you want to be like most people on the planet, you're going to live like them and die like them, and be raised up like them, that's fine. You don't want to really grow spiritually or develop personally. Most people don't want to actually look at how they operate and support operating differently in their lives. They don't want to do that. And they don't want to be receptive. They don't want to. So in our language, most people want to remain beggars, addicts, and victims. And it's not wrong or bad to live as a beggar, addict, and a victim. It just means that the quality of your being and the quality of your living in this world will be very poor, and in the world beyond your death as well. That's all it means. And we who are actually applying ourselves to go from the beggar to the believer or to the boss consciousness will experience greater security. So I'm more secure than I've ever been, and my life reflects it. And I'm more interested in me, my body, and my life than I've ever been, and my life reflects it. And I'm open to being more creative and being of value and contribution to myself and others, and my life reflects it. I'm relating with people, there's giving and receiving at a higher level than ever before. Here we are. This moment is proof. This very moment is proof of the work that I've done on myself. That here I am, not being a misfit or a hooligan, making people's lives miserable, causing people to worry about me, or getting people to look after me, pay my bills, whatever it is, bail me out of jail. No, I don't live like that. Be a, burden on people. And beyond that, I'm actually contributing. I'm supporting myself and other people. I'm being a benefit. So I've chosen that. So you can too. It's up to you.